It started with the sound of glass tapping. Polite, cheerful, the kind meant to gather attention, not destroy lives. I remembered the warmth in the room, soft lights, laughter, the gentle hum of conversations layered over the clinking of plates and the smell of frosting. I stood behind her, my wife, just close enough to hear her breath, just far enough to see everything she didn't say. She raised her glass, smiled, but not at me, at him, her best friend. The man everyone insisted was harmless, loyal, practically family. "Before we cut the cake," she said, "I want to thank someone special." Her voice had that trembling softness people get when they're about to cry. I assumed, naively, it was gratitude, joy, something beautiful. Then she turned fully toward him. "This," she said, lifting her glass higher, "is the man I wish I had married." The room froze. Air disappeared. I waited for a laugh, for someone to brush it off as a joke in poor taste. But no one did. Not even her. She kept going. "He has supported me in ways no one else has. He will be the only true father of my son." My son. My pulse hollowed out. The sound in the room muffled, as if someone had submerged us underwater. Faces blurred. A few people exchanged confused glances. A few looked at me, pity already forming in their eyes. No one noticed when I stepped back, or when I slipped out through the side door, or when the first calm crack in my world silently split open beneath my feet. I only remember the cold night air hitting my face and the taste of something metallic rising in my throat. Not anger, not grief, clarity. Outside, I walked without direction, hands still in my pockets, breath slow, eyes dry. What she said kept replaying in fragments, like someone shuffling broken pieces of glass. The man I wish I had married. The only true father. My son. People don't say things like that by accident, not in front of family, not with a shaking voice, not while looking at another man like he was the center of gravity she'd been orbiting for years. And suddenly, every small moment, the harmless ones I dismissed, rose like ghosts around me. The late-night calls she took in the kitchen, the texts she tilted away from my eyes, the way she softened when he entered the room, how she insisted he come to every appointment, every ultrasound, how she clung to him during her pregnancy, emotionally, almost magnetically. I had been watching it all, pretending not to, pretending trust was enough to silence the ache that grew slowly in the back of my mind. But trust is a fragile thing, a delicate glass, and tonight she shattered it with her own hands and toasted the man who caught the pieces before they hit the floor. I stood on the street, staring at the glow of the venue windows. Inside, they were probably looking for me, calling my name, asking if everything was okay. But for the first time in months, maybe years, I didn't care how anything looked. All I cared about was the truth, and I would find it. Quietly, methodically, without letting a single emotion slip through the cracks. I didn't go home first. I went to a pharmacy, bought a paternity test as casually as someone buying toothpaste. Then I went home and sat on the couch in the dark, listening to the silence settle. Hours later, she came in, alone, confused, a little tipsy. She called my name. I didn't answer. She walked around, muttering questions into the air. Then eventually she fell asleep. I watched her from the hallway, not with hatred, not with rage, just observation, as if she were a stranger occupying a life I once thought belonged to both of us. Over the next week, I collected what I needed. A strand of hair from her brush, another from her friend's jacket, left draped carelessly over a chair after one of his check-ins. And the final piece, a swab from her mouth, taken while she slept lightly on the couch. The lab didn't ask questions. Money smooths curiosities into silence. I kept everything normal. I asked how she was feeling. I touched her back gently as she around the house. I made her breakfast. I even thanked her friend when he stopped by. All the while, a slow burn curled in the pit of my stomach. Not anger, but anticipation. Every lie she had wrapped around me was unraveling, thread by thread. The results came in a sealed envelope, thicker than I expected, heavier. I didn't open it right away. I sat with it, studied it, let the weight of what it meant sink into my bones. When she came into the kitchen that evening, smiling like nothing in the world had cracked, I finally peeled it open. Read the first line, and felt everything inside me go quiet. 0 probability, 0 connection, 0 me. She noticed the silence. "Everything okay?" she asked. I handed her the envelope, said nothing, watched her open it, watched her scan the lines, watched her face collapse inward. Shock first, then panic, then something between guilt and survival instinct. "Where did you? How could you? Why would you?" Her voice trembled. Mine didn't. "I already knew," I said. That was all. Just those 3 words. And they broke her. I didn't raise my voice, didn't accuse, didn't demand an explanation. I simply placed my wedding ring on the counter, right beside the test results. 2 symbols of truth. One broken by her, one discovered by me. She reached for my arm, but I stepped back. Not quickly, just decisively. "Please," she whispered, "we can talk. There's nothing left to talk about." Her friend arrived minutes later, summoned by her frantic calls. He froze when he saw the papers, when he saw her crying, when he saw me standing calmly in the doorway, picking up my bag. No confrontation, no scene. Just the truth arranged plainly in front of them. They both looked ruined. I felt nothing. I left the house without turning back. The air outside was cool, steady, clean. For the first time in years, my mind was sharp enough to cut through the fog she had wrapped around me. Freedom is a strange thing, silent, heavy, unforgiving. But clarity is colder, and it stays. That night, as I walked away from the life she built on lies, I realized something simple. She didn't break me, she revealed me. And now she has to live with the truth, while I get to walk away from it. Quiet, untethered, done.